Today we are making a cake in another vintage pan. The other day I was at the thrift store when I saw this pan for only $3 and I just could not pass it up. It is a West Bend pan, and when I looked it up online, there wasn't a lot of information. Everyone agrees that it's a vintage pan, but some people called it a jello pan and other people called it a cake pan. Now, copperware was really popular for the West Bend company in 1930s and 1940s. However, based on the condition of this pan and the logo, I definitely think that this is a newer creation than the 1930s or 40s. Additionally, this pan is really light, which makes me think it's probably not straight copper, but rather copper aluminum. Now that we've talked about the pan, let's talk about what we're making today. I had an open container of ricotta and an open bag of sliced almonds that needed to be eaten, so I thought the perfect thing to make would be an almond ricotta cake. However, it's not really perfect because I technically need a springform pan for an almond ricotta cake, but we're gonna make it work. I am not a professional cake maker by any means. Historically, I've not been a big fan of cakes, therefore I don't make cakes very often. And I'm pretty nervous about making this cake because the instructions seem a little complicated. We have to cream things, whisk things, combine things, make things fluffy, put them in the oven for an unknown amount of time until it's perfectly done. So I am a little bit nervous about making this cake, but we're going to try and hopefully it turns out. So we have greased our pan and we have whisked together our flour, baking powder, and salt. We're getting out the KitchenAid mixer for this next part because we need to cream together some ingredients. The recipe says that we're going to be creaming these ingredients together for 5 whole minutes. So cue the time lapse. It's been 5 minutes. It's time to add an egg. I forgot the almond extract. This was almost disastrous. This is an almond ricotta cake. You have to have the almond flavoring in the cake. I'm glad we remembered it. We're gonna add it in. Everything's gonna be okay. Now we're gonna add the flour mixture in. I know you can't smell it right now, but this smells so good. It smells so strongly of almonds, but we're gonna kick that almond flavor up a little more. I have these almonds, which I finely chopped earlier today, and I'm just going to put them in and use my spatula to fold it in. I just completed the longest section of the instructions, which I'm very happy for, and now we're going to pour the batter into our cake pan. As I previously mentioned, the original recipe calls for a springform pan and a much larger springform pan, so I halved the recipe to fit this significantly smaller cake pan that is also not a springform pan. So let's see if the batter is too much, too little. We're about to find out. I did have some extra batter that I'm gonna put in a mini cake pan and see how it turns out too. We have our heart-shaped cake and our other little mini cake. We're gonna put them in the oven. Now, the recipe originally calls for the cake to be in the oven for 45 to 55 minutes, but that is for a much larger cake. So I'm gonna have to eye it and see what time it actually needs to come out, because I don't think it's gonna take 45 minutes. Our cakes are in the oven now. I have to clean while they're in the oven because unfortunately, unlike all the influencers I watch who make things and their kitchens suddenly get clean, somehow mine doesn't, so I guess I need to go clean now. It's been 29 minutes, time to check and see if it's done. Nice, came out clean, it looks great. So it'll rest like this for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna put it on the cooling rack to cool completely. Okay, now for the cake. That came out really well. All right. I've cut a small piece of the little cake and I'm just gonna taste test it before we put on the almonds and the powdered sugar when it's completely cooled. Let's give it a try. It's really good. It's not overly sweet. You can definitely taste the almond. I maybe could have baked it for like a minute less, but I was trying to get my camera equipment set up to film me taking it out. So yeah, that's definitely on me for not pulling it out of the oven quicker, but it still tastes amazing. Now we're gonna add the finishing touches, which is some sliced almonds and powdered sugar. I am so excited to taste the final product. I have been working on this cake for over 3 hours. It took way longer than the recipe said it would take, but that's normal, especially when you're filming. So hopefully all the time, all the effort was worth it. It looks beautiful. Let's see how it tastes. That is really, really good. Earlier I said the cake wasn't too sweet. Putting the powdered sugar on top definitely makes it a little sweeter. I actually think I prefer it without the powdered sugar, but you do get even more almond taste when you have the almonds on top. This was such a good recipe. I'll link it below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!